Artists always have a lot of questions for me, so I decided to share a few of them here because I thought you might be wondering about some of these things too. So we're going to have a little bit of a fireside chat. And before I start reading your questions, maybe some of you are wondering who I am. My name is Crista Cloutier, and I have worked with other artists throughout my career, collaboratively in the studio and as a teacher, both in the classroom and in my online course, the Working Artist Masterclass. So it's not unusual for artists to share their challenges with me. So here's a few examples. I wanted to say my assistant didn't put anyone's name on them. I just have the question, so I apologize to those of you who submitted a question and I don't have your name here. Anyway, first question. I'm having some trouble pricing my work. I'm mixed media. I found plenty of artists who work in mixed media, but my work doesn't compare to those individual markets. How can I find contemporaries that are in similar circumstances in their own career? Okay, so you're asking all the right questions here because it's really important when you price your art that you do look at your contemporaries, that other people who are working in the same medium. In this respect, it's mixed media, which is a little bit of a nebulous area when it comes to comparing, right? Because it could mean anything. But you want to be looking at other artists in your region, in your area, who are working in the same genre or medium as you. Uh, if you can't find anyone within your immediate area, you can go online and start looking at artists who are a little bit outside of your area or someplace very similar to your area. And then you adjust. I mean, no one's going to be 100% doing exactly what you do, but there are millions of artists out there. So no matter what you're doing, you can find someone fairly close to you who is doing something fairly similar to what you're doing. And then you want to make adjustments. You want to adjust for their experience versus your experience. Have they had more museum shows than you? Have they been in better galleries than you? Then their prices might be a little bit higher. And you might want to start your prices a little bit lower and raise them up slowly. So it's not a science, but it does require some research and some work, but you're going to feel so much better to be standing on a solid foundation. And also, this is a good opportunity for you to make it a habit to visit galleries and art shows within your area so you get to know your market more. All right. Thank you so much for that question. Next question. But I did want to mention real quick, we do cover pricing in the Working Artist Masterclass. You know, I go real deep into it and I have some worksheets to help you figure out your price. Okay, next question. Krista, what is an artist community? I love this question because I'm always banging on about artist communities and how important they are. Other artists are not your competition. Other artists are possibly your greatest resource. Artist communities can look any way. It's always surprising to me different ways that artist communities pop up. So for example, I know an artist community in Scottsdale, Arizona called the Breakfast Club, and they meet once a month at a different artist studio and they have breakfast together and they look at that artist's work in depth. And it's a great opportunity to get some real feedback on your work and to network with your contemporaries. Other artist communities can be online. I've seen them on LinkedIn, or we've got a really vibrant Facebook group for the working artist. And I remember when I moved to England, I lived in a small town in England and I didn't know any artists. So I went looking for a local artist community and I couldn't find one. So I decided to start one. And we would meet once a month at a pub. We couldn't really bring our work to the pub to get feedback like they did with the Breakfast Club, but we could share our resources, we could share our challenges, we could network and support each other. And it's great because when one person would have a show, the whole group would go to support them. And that's the beauty of the artist communities is that these are your brothers and sisters, and you're all there to support each other. So thank you for that question. I love artist communities. Oh, and guess what? We also have a monthly gathering in the Working Artist, and it's international artists who are there to support each other once a month online. Other people have taken the Working Artist, and the people who take the Working Artist do have lifetime access to those Working Artist gatherings. They are really fun. They are really interesting, really rewarding. We have the most incredible conversations, and I know a lot of artists find a lot of value in our community. Okay, next question. Let's see, what have I got? I think it's next page. Krista, who do I invite to my open studio event? Thank you for answering my question. You are most welcome. The answer is everybody. You want to invite everybody to your events. You know, you want to fill the room with your family. You want to fill the room with people who bought your work. You want to fill the room with people on your mailing list, people who follow you on social media, people who are part of your artist community. The art business is all about building relationships, and all those different relationships matter. Now, if you want to learn how to have successful exhibitions, art fairs, and open studio events, you will really profit from joining the Working Artist Masterclass. Thank you for that question. I have engaged my community to form an artist-run gallery, but I'm concerned that some of the work that's being shown is less than professional and it's priced lower than my work. Now I'm worried about the repercussions of associating with a gallery that I started. That's a really good question. I can understand your concern. There's a saying that a rising tide lifts all boats. I think this is time for you to be that tide, to step up and to lead. Lead your group in conversations. Try to do what you can to raise the standards of the gallery. You can even share what you're learning in the Working Artist Masterclass, as well as inviting in guest speakers or organizing workshops. To be honest, it sounds like this gallery might be just a step for you as you move your career forward. Maybe it's time to challenge yourself to find the next place to sell your work. That doesn't mean you have to leave this gallery right now. If there's any guilt by association, it's already happened. So continue to get what you need from this gallery and give what you can while taking the steps to move forward and to help others do the same. Thank you for your question. Okay, what's the next one? What's the best way to ask someone for their contact information at an art fair? Ooh, another great question. Thank you for that. Well, one way is to have a contest and ask visitors to give you their card or their email address to sign up for your mailing list, and then you'll have a drawing. People love a drawing. You can also just ask them, would you like to be on my mailing list? That simple question often garners a yes. And sometimes when I've been in an art fair or something, I might give people candy or cookies and then ask them to join my mailing list because no one can say no when they're eating candy. And don't forget to tell them what they're signing up for. For example, you might want to say, I send out a newsletter once a month that talks about what's happening in my studio. And then people know what they're getting because no one just wants more. I think I see this on people's website all the time. Join my email list. And you don't know why. What are you going to get? So if you tell them what it is they're signing up for and you make it sound interesting, that's a little more enticing. Now, let me ask you, do you send out newsletters and are they getting read? I will teach you how to create an audience of raving fans who will be super excited to see your name in their inbox. And this is information that I share in, you guessed it, the Working Artist Masterclass. Okay, another question. What's the best way to ask someone for their contact? Oh, no, I already asked that question. Is it okay to give away a free piece of your work, just to start something? Yeah, I do believe it is. I mean, I don't think that artists should be always working for free. as is often expected. But I've had this conversation with, I once had this conversation, in fact, with art world superstar Kiki Smith. And she said that when she couldn't sell work, she just gave it away. And she said she did that because she needed to keep the energy moving. So you can give it away strategically. You can use charitable donations as a way to give it away and to partner with different institutions like museums will sometimes ask you, or charities whose work, maybe mirrors your own. Maybe your work is about landscapes and you want to give your work or partner with a environmental group, for example. I remember when I worked with artist Kate Brakey, and her work at the time was all about birds. And so I did a partnership with the Audubon Society. Now, we didn't give work away. That's true. At this point, we were having a fundraiser, and a proceeds from the sales would go to the Audubon Society. But look, it was a great way to get the work moving and to bring a new audience who would be really receptive to that work into the gallery. And that sold. That happened. So yes, you can give your work away, and I think it's a good idea to keep the energy moving like that as best you can. You can also make really small pieces and give them away during the holidays if you're just looking for that energy of giving. It's really only limited by your imagination, because there's all kinds of ways to think about this if your work is piling up and you need to get it moving out of your studio. And that's right, I talk about all this and more in the Working Artist Masterclass. Listen, I've been keeping the price of the Working Artist Masterclass really low for a while, considering what it is and what it delivers. But now it is time to start raising my fees. And I'm not here to get rich from artists. I'm here to help artists. And I want to help you. So for the next few days, I'm not only giving you an opportunity to join the Working Artist at the lower price, but I'm slashing it in half. You'll never see this price again. If you want to work more as an artist, if you want to work better as an artist, join me and thousands of other artists in the Working Artist Masterclass. And if you're still not sure, send me an email with your questions or book a free call with me, and we'll figure it out together. Because selling art is not selling out. It's just good business.